I don't think that people really appreciate their parents until they get older. I mean, at least I can say that about myself, and I think it's true of, here in America.
Yeah, I was going to say in this culture anyway. Yeah, I can totally agree with that.
Yeah, looking back, I think I only really came to, see all the sacrifices my parents made and appreciate those sacrifices when I went away to college.
Mm-hmm. That's probably when I started appreciating my parents too.
Yeah, I mean, now looking back, I can see that my dad, he was always trying to teach me things, and at the time, I couldn't even tell that it was going on. But, now I see there's method to his madness.
Like what's an example?
All right, well, for example, like on Saturdays, what I like to do was probably what any, little boy used to do. I like to go out, play with my friends, play some baseball or some football or, just hang out with my friends. Well, my dad, on the other hand, he was really strict and he ran a tight ship. I'm telling you, I mean, I think there was this unspoken motto that he had, which was my way or the highway. So come Saturday morning, it was time to do some work. and so it was time to spoil the fun I wanted to have.
Right.
So he'd say something like, "Hey, today we have to change the oil on the car. I'll show you how to do it." And I'd be thinking,
boy.
Yeah, I'd be thinking, "Oh, that sounds like fun." Or like, another time he'd say, "Okay, we have to change the brakes today, and I think that I'll show you how to do it this time, and you can do it next time." And I'm sitting there. I must be 11 years old. I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to remember how to do this. I'm not going to retain any of it. But sure enough, he showed me how to do it. And, now looking back, I can see that, it was probably something that he wanted to make sure I knew how to do as I grew older. But I didn't really pay attention. I couldn't appreciate it at the time.
Yeah, my dad taught me some things about the car, not as detailed as changing the brakes or changing the oil, but he taught me basics like just checking my fluids, like power steering fluid, brake fluid, the oil. At the time, I would dread him teaching me. I wouldn't retain it, I would forget, so he would constantly be teaching me, and I knew it would be this long-winded lecture when I would be wanting just to get in the car and leave, go meet my friends.
Yeah, sure.
But now I appreciate that he taught me how to check my fluids, actually. It's a useful thing to know.
Yeah, there were some things that my father would teach me, like, when I was younger, and I did appreciate it. And I mean, like, the one thing that stands out in my mind is learning how to cook. My dad was really good about allowing us to be in the kitchen while he was cooking, because my dad's an amazing cook. And
yeah, he is.
When we were growing up, I remember like all my friends and my mom's side of the family, it was only the women who cooked. But from my dad's side of the family, the men totally cooked. I mean, I just said my dad was a great cook. He learned from his father, my grandfather, who was a great cook. My grandfather's brother, my great uncle, he was a great cook. So it really wasn't a gender-specific trait in my family. And I think as a result, we weren't afraid to be in the kitchen, and my father allowed us to. So, and my dad was always good about teaching me how to cook. I mean, I remember this one time, I was a little kid. I must have been 6 years old. I wake up on a Sunday morning, and I go downstairs, and I say, "Hey, Dad, can you make me French toast for breakfast?" And I remember him saying something like, "Okay, yeah, I'll make it for you. I'll teach you how to make it, and then the next time, you make it for me."
That's great.
Yeah, so I was thinking, this is great. I'm going to be able to make French toast for myself whenever I want. And then, also, I wanted to try and impress my dad, so I wanted to make it for him, too. So, that was something, it was a bonding experience with my father and I as well. I just saw John at the store.
Well, what happened? You sound kind of bummed.
Well, he told me that Melissa just got busted again for drunk driving.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
That's her second offense in the last year.
Jeez.
I mean, I think that she just got finished with the court case from the last time when she got busted, and that was like, she got busted like 10 months ago. She doesn't even have a license.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, the first time she got busted, I have no idea. I mean, the first time she got busted, she had been out drinking with some friends, at a party, and they had advised her not to drive because she had been drinking a bit too much, but she was like, no, I'm fine. So she was on her way home, and she was driving a little erratically, and a cop saw her and pulled her over and smelled that she had alcohol on her breath. So so that's how she got busted the first time. But this time, she's really lucky. She actually wrecked this time.
Yeah.
And
yeah, she is lucky.
I mean, but she's lucky that no one got hurt.
Right.
She actually didn't get hurt. She didn't hit anybody, thank goodness.
Well, how serious was the accident?
Well, she was apparently driving and a little too fast, and she was obviously drunk. She lost control of the car, and that was it. It's totaled. Also, she hit into a telephone pole, but thank goodness she didn't hit it head on. She just lost control and skidded into it.
God, I just had this image of her wrapping it around the telephone pole.
Yeah. Well, check this out. Jeff said he saw her out at the bar last night doing shots about an hour before she drove. He didn't even think she was driving because he knows she doesn't have a license.
Yeah, that's really smart.
Yeah, oh my God. I just don't even know what to say. I mean.
Well, this makes me think of Matthew fairly recently. I can't remember if it was his second or third offense with drunk driving, but he was out at a bar one night, left with a friend, and was driving drunk, rear-ended a car. I guess the car in front had come to a stop, and he just plowed right into him. And luckily, he was okay, his friend was okay, but there were 3 people in the car that was ahead of him, and I think 2 out of the 3 people actually got injured.
Oh.
So, like I said, I don't remember if this was his second or third offense, but since he had a run-in with the law prior to that, he got thrown in jail for a year.
Oh, I'm not surprised. I mean, if you've already had one offense before, I think it's automatic that you're going to do jail time.
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends on how much, because the laws vary from state to state. And Melissa actually got busted for drunk driving when she was 20 years old, when she lived in Texas before she moved here.
Oh God.
You think that she would have learned something from that first event?
Right. Well, I'm surprised they didn't just throw away the key with Matthew. I mean, he was trashed. Not only that, but I mean, the fact that he was so drunk, this was his second or third drunk driving offense, and he actually injured people. He's lucky he didn't kill someone.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want that on your conscience.
No.
My gosh. Well, Melissa, I think that Jeff told me that, or John said that Jeff told him that she spoke with a lawyer, and unlike last time she was hoping her lawyer was going to get her off, and it didn't happen because her blood alcohol level was too high. But there's no way she's getting off this time. I mean,
no.
She wrecked the car, and the cops came while she was still at the car, so they could obviously see. They gave her a breathalyzer, but
they're going to throw the book at her.
Yo, yeah, she's gonna. I mean, she's looking at 3 to 6 months. She's definitely gonna get put away for 3 to 6 months. Yeah, because that's the law here. So,
right, if not longer.
Well, I don't know how it works. I mean, I guess sometimes they let you take these alcohol diversion classes. And,
to lessen the time.
Yeah. Hey, I ran into my friend Jackie today downtown.
Hey, you used to work with her, right?
Yeah. I don't think you've met her yet, but
yeah, I can't believe I haven't met her actually. But
Yeah, I don't see her that often. I guess one of the reasons I don't see her that often is because she's been really busy because she's in a new relationship, she said.
Oh.
Yeah, you should have seen her. It was like, it was so cute to see her. She was like bursting at the seams. She was so happy. Because I guess the relationship's going really well, so.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see it too because I know that she's been really looking for someone, and she'd been doing the online dating thing for, I don't know, over a year, and I mean it seemed like she wasn't having a lot of luck with it. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it's good she's finally found someone that she's compatible with.
Yeah, I remember when she first started out, she told me about this one guy she met, and he was a total loser. I mean, one thing I remember she said was that he asked her to go out to this nice restaurant, and she wasn't planning on having him pay for the date. She's like, okay, well, I have money just in case, and he made her pay for the whole date.
Oh my God!
I know, what the. So that was really, that was really a bad introduction to that guy and to the online dating world.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Because that was the first person she went out with.
Well, speaking of blind dates, because online dating is pretty much blind dates.
Yeah.
Or blind dating, I should say. I have a friend that I'm no longer in touch with, and before we lost touch, I can remember her telling me a story about going out on a blind date, and this guy, he was such a total loser. He showed up. He was already 2 sheets to the wind. That was her first impression of him. This guy was just trashed.
And he stunk of alcohol?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, needless to say, that date was a disaster. She didn't want to see him again.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, she had a horrible time with dating. She went on a lot of blind dates, and just they were all pretty disastrous, actually. But I will say, before we lost touch, she finally met someone that was head and shoulders above the rest.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. It's funny to hear Bill speaking about all the times he's gone out on blind dates through people he met over the internet, because he's been doing it for a couple of years, and he just always has a funny spin on things when he tells a story. I don't even know where he comes up with some of this stuff. It's so funny.
Oh, that guy cracks me up.
Yeah, I know. But he actually, I think one of his problems is the guy's like 35 and he's trying to date 20-year-olds. So,
no.
Of course there's going to be like a big difference in interests and usually maturity also.
That seems like it'd be a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. So.
Well, I think dating has really changed a good bit. Back in the day when our parents were dating, it was just so different.
Oh, it was totally a different story then.
I mean, for one thing, well, moving even beyond dating, like once people got serious, they didn't live together before they got married.
No. That was viewed as a sin because the world, here it was a lot more, it was a much more religious time.
Right. But I'd even be willing to bet that they didn't have sex before marriage.
Oh, I think that they were saying they didn't have sex before marriage, but I'm sure it was happening behind closed doors. Oh, definitely. Come on.
Well, where would they do it? Go park a car?
Well, that is one. Yeah, I think they did actually, because back then people would live at home until they got married.
Right.
So I think they would have to go. I mean, it was kind of rare for someone to move out of the house before they got married. So, they probably didn't have their own apartment. So.
Right.
Yeah. And, another thing that was really weird, if you think about it also, is people just didn't get divorced back then.
Right.
Like now, I heard something, and I think this is pretty accurate. 50% of all marriages here in the United States end in divorce.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's crazy to that you and I, we're both have parents who are still together. It's kind of it's uncommon, I guess is the word I'm looking for, because when you look at our friends, most of them have parents that are divorced, divorced, excuse me. Yeah,
we're definitely not the norm, or our families aren't. But it made me think, speaking of living together, My mom, I was talking about it with her the other day, and she actually called it shacking up.
Oh, that's funny. That's like a term that's no longer used.
Yeah.
Hey, check this out. You know what Eric asked me when I got into work this morning?
I have no idea. What did he ask you?
He asked me if I felt the earthquake last night.
Earthquake? You gotta be kidding. I didn't feel an earthquake.
I know, that's what I said. He told me it actually woke him up last night. You know,
What?
yeah, it was like it happened at like 4:42 in the morning, so we must have been sleeping. But I mean, it's possible that, even if we had been awake, we might not have felt it because, maybe it wasn't felt, this far north. But I mean, I thought he was pulling my leg when he first talked about it.
Well, I guess that's not so far-fetched considering we live on a major fault line here.
Yeah, but actually, I think this earthquake was on a different fault line, because Eric lives just south of San Jose,
Yeah.
and the earthquake he said was due east of San Jose, so he was obviously a lot closer to the epicenter than we were. So I'm not even sure it was felt here.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I've experienced quite a few earthquakes in the past several years, but I've been living here now a little over 2 years. I think I've only experienced one here. It was really strange too. I should say each earthquake has been a completely different experience. But the one I felt here, I was standing outside a restaurant talking to AJ and another friend, and all of a sudden it just felt like this shift. It's really hard to explain, but it made me think of like a cartoon, like how in the cartoon, like buildings might just shift to the right and then shift right back.
Yeah, without falling.
Yeah, without falling. And I had no idea what was going on for a few minutes afterwards, and then I realized, oh, that must have been an earthquake.
Yeah, you know what I usually notice? The times that I've been at home here and there's been an earthquake, it's almost as if there's this really big train or like a gigantic Mack truck going by, and suddenly I start to hear the heater shaking, and it's like the noise is like is loud for like a second, and then it's gone. So it's really weird. It's almost like the first couple of times I felt it, I wasn't even aware it was an earthquake while it was happening.
Well, that's so funny you say that, because one that I experienced in Bangkok, it actually was after the tsunami. And so later I found out that it was aftershock from the tsunami. But anyway, I was in a building up on the 9th floor, and suddenly there was all this rattling. And I'm thinking to myself, it was so irrational. I'm thinking to myself, God, there's like a train going by, and I can't believe that this building is shaking so much from the train. And of course, a train wouldn't have made a building, or at least me up on the 9th floor, feel something to that effect. And I think it happened about 2 times. And that one wasn't until several days later when I was talking to people, and they were like, oh, did you feel the earthquake? Then it dawned on me, oh, that was an earthquake.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy how when you're not used to feeling them, you could think it's something else.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, totally.
I've been living here for a while now, and I've definitely felt my share of earthquakes. I mean, when you live here, it's a given that you're going to experience earthquakes. You just hope that you're not going to be here for the big one.
Yeah, right.
When I first moved here, it was about 5 years after the Loma Prieta earthquake, which was a very big earthquake here. And there are a lot of people who lived here who I met who had actually been living in the area when the earthquake hit. So it was interesting to get their perspective. And it also made me remember where I was when I heard about the Loma Prieta earthquake. I was watching the World Series on TV, and it was taking place in San Francisco. So as I'm watching it, suddenly the announcer starts saying, wow, I think we're feeling an earthquake here, and the cameras started shaking, and all of a sudden the TV coverage cut out. So I wanted to get a rundown what happened, so I turned to the news station, and within a few minutes they were discussing this gigantic earthquake that had hit San Francisco, and they started showing pictures maybe 30 minutes later of these people who were trying to weed through the rubble of these buildings that had been like coming down. So I mean, it was pretty scary. I'll tell you what. You know.
Yeah. Well, the 3 months I was living in Japan, I experienced two. Both of those were very different. Very different from the one I'd experienced here, and also very different from the one in Bangkok. But one of them, I was actually up in my apartment, which was on the 5th floor of a building, and I was woken up at about 5 o'clock in the morning to the building swaying. And because earthquakes are like a dime a dozen in Japan, they've built a lot of their buildings to absorb the shock. So that's why it was swaying. It was a very surreal feel.